Hello, hello. Thank you, everyone, to welcome here to another collaboration and all those that are going to listen to the replay. So today we are talking about tapping in roots to wellness. So a health and wellness discussion. And I'm super excited to have my new friend, Elethia, here. She has more than a decade of experience in the field of health and wellness. So she's going to share with us her stories, all of the amazing ways that she can help us, as well as deep dive into this topic of tapping in, which is so important to our health and wellness. So with that, I am going to turn it over to her and start asking her some questions. So what exactly do you cover as a health and wellness coach?
Ooh, yes. So a jack of all trades. I had to learn to master my chosen few. And so what I do as a coach, sometimes when we hear the word coaching, we initially think of life coach. We think of Tony Robbins, we think of somebody on the stage, or we may think of someone behind the desk and, we're telling them what's going on with us. They list our goals, etc. Right? So what I do exactly as a health and wellness coach is I offer services that take someone from the fitness aspect and marry that into the mental and the spiritual. And so we start out with our one-on-one coaching session. Who are you? Who are you? Like, what are your true goals? Sometimes when you ask someone what their goals are, they have like these broad lists of things, and it's really ambiguous a lot of times, or it's just something that may have been handed down to them. So what we do is we get on a call and we really get to the heart of what are your goals? And then what are your health and wellness goals? And then why do you have these goals? And then we start to customize a program for them that is unique to what they want to accomplish, both mentally, physically, and spiritually. And so it's strength training, it's meditation, it's yoga, and all of that to create the whole person.
I love that, because I'm always talking about how we need to really hone in on the 8 dimensions of wellness. And obviously we can't do all at one time. But yeah, I'm all about making sure people understand about mental, emotional, even environmental, spiritual, financial, well, and all the things. So that's so important to be able to have a person that is going to help you in more than one of those areas. So what actually motivated you to get into health and wellness coaching?
Well, it started a long time ago, because when I was like, let's say in middle school, and I would run, as soon as I saw some sweat, I was like, I'm done. My hair's getting messed up. And there used to be so many stories that I told myself about the way that I looked, about my hair, how it would look if my hair, if humidity affected my hair, if my hair got wet, how it would curl up, right? But we didn't curl it. We didn't call it curls back in the day. We called it naps. So I'm sitting here thinking, oh God, I don't want to exercise too much because I don't want my hair to get nappy. That's the mindset that I bought into, but I was a kid. And when I was about 20 years old, I came home from college and I saw my mom in the living room and she was working out. And at this time, my mother had her second bout with cancer. And I'm like, Mom, what are you doing? And she's like, I'm working out, I'm getting it in. Because all I hear is like Tony Little, like, you can do it. And he's yelling at her. And I'm like, Mom, how do you get into this? He's yelling too much. And she was like, well, you know how I'm standing here right now in front of you? It's because of this. And so I was like, wow. And it's so funny. I'll never forget that moment. I remember the plants. I remember everything around her. And that was an aha moment for me, because I was like, if my mom can go through what she has gone through and stand up here and exercise and do her jacks. And she was never that petite size 6. My mother always had meat on her. You know how we say, we call people big bone. Well, my mother was, or we call them healthy. My mom was healthy growing up. And so I thought, if my mom can do this and look the way that she looked, and she looked amazing with it, toned up and not a size 5, not a size 4, not a size 6, but she was her comfortable size 14, 18, whatever that was. I was like, you know what, Elethia, you have no excuses. None. none. So I started working out with her. So he's yelling at us both. And then around the time that I got pregnant with my daughter, I stopped. I stopped exercising. It was like an out of body experience. Come to find out, after I had my daughter, I was dealing with postpartum. And I was like, I cannot stay stuck here. Like, it just, something in me was like, you have so much more to give. This is not it. And so I went back to those moments with mommy. And I started going back to the gym. I would walk on a treadmill, I would do a little bit of yoga. And then I remember I started a cycling class and I met a guy there. And he was like, you know what, I'm going to get my certification. Mind you, he's my boyfriend today. But at the time, he was just a friend. He was like, I'm going to get my certification. And I remember after one class, my now mentor mentioned, okay, well, they have certifications coming up. And so I was like, there goes your chance. Go ahead. And he was like, that's your chance. Why don't you certify? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, this isn't for me. He's stuttering and everything. He was like, go ahead and certify. And I certified and I never looked back. I never looked back. It saved my life. It gave me purpose. And I'm going to tell you, selfishly, I don't just do this to help others. If I don't get up, if I don't go out, if I don't walk, if I don't lift weights, if I don't exercise my mind, body, and spirit, I cannot exist.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I always, with everything that I do, whether it's mindset, mental, the wellness side, business tips, marketing tips, I always say I am my first and foremost client. Like, usually I'm getting on live so I can remind myself of something. And if some of y'all need to hear it too, then y'all get to hear it too.
Right. You're your avatar, right? Like,
yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So what would you say is your focus?
I would say in terms of the physical aspect or overall?
Overall.
I would say it's mind, body, and spirit. And I would say the intention is to create and deliver safe and effective exercise programs for women using these mind, body, spirit methods. And I would also state that not every method, not every solution works for everyone. So it has to be customized. It has to be customized. If you're listening to your customers, it has to be customized.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So can you detail for us what services you offer?
Sure. So the program overall is called Roots to Wellness. And I came up with Roots to Wellness because I realized that people weren't just coming to me with a challenge that happened yesterday, right? Or just after the baby, they gained the weight. It was rooted in something. It came from a history of something. And what happened was a lot of those roots followed them into adulthood. So we offer one-on-one coaching, and that coaching can just be as simple as life coaching, right? Providing that listening ear and that goal setting, right? And helping them just build out that plan for their future. The other half of it is Roots to Wellness small group coaching. And this is a 60-day program. So I'm not with the 30-day. I know I have a 30-day 5K challenge going on now, but that first 30 days is like, whew, she's serious about this. I really need to change. And then the next 30 days is when they really start to live it, right? So we offer a small group training program called Roots to Wellness. I offer it about twice a year. And then after that, we have small group training classes just to help people maintain, right? Maintenance is a huge part of it, and consistency. And then I have the one-on-one personal training where someone may say, well, I just want yoga. I just need yoga. Maybe they're using it for some type of therapy, or they want strength training. So again, just customizing solutions based on the person. I mean, I'm certified over 13 fitness certifications, working on the yoga, NASM, failed that twice, going back for a third time. So with all these different fitness certifications under my belt, it's no way that I cannot customize a solution for someone.
That is beautiful. So let's dive into what you represent. Let's dive into that tapping in roots to wellness. So can you tell me what those more specifically are and how you help people with those?
Yes, yes, yes. So as I mentioned, the program Roots to Wellness, and I started this practice last year. Well, about 2 or 3 years ago, I knew I wanted to add meditation into the programs that I offered, especially the small group training. And I would start with meditation and then we would go into the training itself. But I was like, you know what, meditation can stand on its own. Now, a lot of people say, you know what, I don't meditate. I don't, but you don't meditate, you become meditative, right? And so I had to help people understand that, and what does becoming meditative mean to them. And so I created a program every Friday at 6 a.m. We just get up, and some people close their eyes, they place their hands on the top of their thighs, and that's becoming meditative to them. Or some people, they just take that time to just reflect and write down in their journal. And I found that when we just take the time to sit quietly, that's when our thoughts begin to flow. That's when everything starts to come out of the body, right? And flow. And it could flow through your fingertips as you're writing it out on the page. And so I created a journal called Roots to Wellness. And there's a page in there, a specific page that says tapping in. And so I took that the 7-letter word, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? Tapping, right? And not the end part, we're gonna leave that alone. But I took this tapping part of it and really broke it down so that people understand what tapping in means. So you have the T for tapping. And the first step to that is just taking a step back. When someone upsets you and you're pissed and you're ready to go, you're just ready to go in and attack. That's because your levels are raising, your hormone levels, everything is just going crazy right now. You're in fight or flight mode. So that first part of it is just taking a step back and then asking yourself, what are they really saying to me? What is this person really saying to me? And is this something that I need to approach in that manner? I was reading a recent blog by a young lady, and she said she was having an argument with her husband, and she kept restating her point over and over and over again because she just wanted to be right. And that didn't resolve the argument, only until she took a step back and she actually took time to listen to what he was saying. Were they able to resolve that? And I think that's many of us. Tapping in also means the T, taking a breath. Taking a breath, the breath of life, that's not dogma. That's real. If you don't breathe, you die, you're dead, right? If you're not breathing. And so taking a step back and taking a breath gives life to whatever you need to stir up for the right response, or just taking that breath allows you to calm your heart rate and really deliver with a steady head. Sometimes it's just taking a breath so that you can walk away. Whatever it is, instead of lashing out, take that step back and take a breath. The last part of it is tuning in, and that's tuning into yourself. So in the journal itself, there's a point that says, why do you feel the way that you feel, and what can you do about it, right? And when you tune in, you start to notice what triggered that reaction. Even before you respond verbally, you walk out, you respond in anger. When you do all of this and it happens in a matter of seconds, you're like, oh, right. I'm mad because I got stuck in traffic this morning and I was late to work. So taking a moment to just take a step back, take a breath, and tune in will help prepare you for that next step or that next response.
Wonderful, wonderful. I love that because I do mindfulness spaces, and every time I teach on mindfulness, it's always mindfulness for everyone. And I've been blessed to be able to share some of what I do in Lunch and Learns at General Motors and at Comcast. And it really is like, especially with everything we've gone through in the past couple of years, like you just need additional tools, and it is definitely going to look very different. And the mindfulness techniques I do actually are very dynamic, because I do a lot of visualization and verbal affirmations with my mindfulness and stuff. So it's definitely something that everyone needs. All of my clients are always tuned into it, even though I do business coaching primarily now. It's holistic business coaching. So love, love, love all of that. So if anyone has any questions, you can feel free to put them in the chat or unmute yourself and ask any questions. Anything else you would like to share with us, Elethia?
I think, well, something that you just said, and I think that's key. I was looking at a recent survey, and it was saying over 80% of Americans are stressed because of the rising cost of groceries and gas and just everyday living expenses. And when you think about that, and then you start to look at the crime rates throughout the United States, or how we're acting in the House of Representatives, you start to realize that a lot of that behavior is probably coming from some other type of deep-seated stress, and is being expressed in the way that they know how best, to express it. So taking that time, taking a step back, doing the visualization techniques that you talked about, in addition to affirmations, is critical.
Yeah. One other thing I wanted to mention yesterday, again, before we started recording, I've been talking about even today, I'm still like recovering from daylight savings. So I felt that way yesterday. I felt like I was running this stuff. We saw each other yesterday. I ended up getting on the call with another friend, because as I was telling you guys yesterday, I'm like, I got this thing I had to prepare for this. I had to prepare for another wellness thing tomorrow. And then I was working on NFT stuff for this evening. So when I got on with my friend, he's like, how are you doing? And I'm like, I feel like my brain is screaming. That's what I feel like right now, but I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be okay, because I have some self-care planned, and I already had on the schedule to go to a salt room. So that was forcing myself to leave my house. So I left my house, went to the salt room, doused myself in essential oils while I was there. I actually did not look at my phone for the first 20 minutes and just closed my eyes, and I paused, and I felt so amazing and so clear afterwards. And I came back. It was so productive until later than I should have. So, but we'll get it on track with this daylight savings. But yeah, so I just wanted to mention that too. It's so important. I always am stressing that, especially in these business settings, of why mindfulness, it does lead to more creativity. It does lead to more efficiency, because if you just push through that, you're going to go so much slower through those next 3-4 hours, where if you paused for an hour and took a break, then the 3 after those are going to be so much more productive, ridiculously more productive. You need to take those 15 minutes 3 times a day, stop, do your deep breathing, pause. You will be so much more productive every single day.
Absolutely. That and sleep, So
yep.
And somebody said, where can we find the journal? You can find it at Amazon.com, Barnes and Noble. It's Roots to Wellness by Elethia, Elethia Gay. And you know what? I'll put it, Roots to Wellness. I'll put it in the chat right now. By Elethia Gay. There you go.
Yeah. So, and any other resources that you have for us?
That's pretty much it. Just visit me at elethiagay.com. I'll have the new countdown going for you to join Roots to Wellness. I'm on Facebook at Roots to Wellness Program, and that's where we're running our 30-day 5K, which I have to jump soon because I have to teach a class on abs and strength training for runners. And you can find me on Instagram at Alexander Q Coaching. So,
all righty, and then we will definitely publish the replay of this within 30 minutes to 60 minutes after this, and we'll have all those links in there. But yeah, so love this discussion. For those who may listen to the replay that don't know me, again, I'm Tashena Gonzalez, holistic business coach, and I just love collaborating with all people like this, because my sister had put it in the chat. She says she wants to save the world. I always say I'm trying to affect 1 billion lives, and I can't affect 1 billion lives by myself. So I have to cast a wider net, and I have to do more collaborations. But all of the tools that you teach people are what I use all the time, right? Like exercise is going to help us emotionally, mentally, and physically. So it's so important to have a regular exercise routine. And if you need a jump start to that, then you should get a jump start to that. Like I know I get in ruts and I'll have to do something new. Now I have my VR glasses now that I'm in NFTs and stuff. And it's so fun to do my little virtual reality boxing and stuff like that.
I love that.
The daily emotional wellness is so important. Whatever you choose to do, if it's just pause, the best way for you, like was mentioned, I don't feel like I'm the meditator part. Okay, we'll just pause, deep breathe, and put on some music, put on some classical music, some relaxing music, pause, deep breathe, grab some essential oils, whatever is going to help you to pause. It's just going to make you so much more productive. And then social connections. That's another super important thing that's just going to help us.
Huge. It's huge. Community is huge. Even people who don't want to go into the gym, just showing up for classes and holding each other accountable, or just sharing that energy, sharing that space together. And yes, it is transferred through the screen. So yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Well, communication is, this is what I tell people a lot of times when they're like just wanted to just email people, or they just want to be on some type of app and they just want to text people. Like you have to do a little bit more. Like I've been making lots of connections and I force people to get on Zoom with me. I'll meet people on Twitter and I'm like, we can't have a relationship unless you want to get on Zoom with me, because communication is only 7% the words. So I can only get so much texting to you. But if I can hear your tone, that's even 37% more. And if I can at least see some of your body language, then I can really understand you. So
I get it. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. Thank you, ladies, for showing up, for sharing this space. I truly value you and your time. Thank you for your light. And Tashena, thank you for all that you do.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have an amazing day. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.